Thank you very much, chappers. For the Monday night club to the St Mary's nightclub, because I've never seen anything like the build-up to this game. Chris Sutton, if they have put half as much time and effort into preparing the tactics and training this week as they have put into the spectacular Las Vegas-style light show we've just seen here, Southampton are going to win this 5-0.
Well, absolutely, the greatest show. That was what was blaring out. It was like a disco. It was like my old Ritzies in Norwich. I don't know whether you've ever been there before.
Not yet.
I doubt it. It's closed down anyway. But no, it was some show. And look, they have to get their home form right. And I think under Mark Hughes, it's slowly at the moment. Good, solid performance. Good win against Palace. Deserved win against Palace. Didn't want the international break. And he'll be looking to really have a strong performance tonight and try and beat the side which I think if you're a Southampton fan you would expect to finish above Brighton this season.
Yeah, the smell of sulphur is strong in the air from the smoke machines and the flamethrowers, and now it settles down and we concentrate on the football. This is 5 Live for the BBC, the Premier League on this Monday night. Southampton, who've only had one win in their last 13 Premier League home games stretching back to last season, and we've got two sides here who have had pretty much identical campaigns so far. They've both had one win, they've both had one draw, they've both had 2 defeats, and whoever wins this game tonight, if there is a winner, will move up into the top 10, and then whoever might lose this game will feel that they are hovering a little bit close to the relegation zone, early as it is in the season in the formative Premier League table. Give you a rundown of the teams in a moment, just once we get underway. But there is just one change tonight for Brighton. Southampton are unchanged from their previous games. Brighton wearing the change strip tonight. Green shirts, white shorts, green socks. Southampton in their traditional red, white and black. The referee is Anthony Taylor, and he's about to get us started. And Southampton will play from left to right as we look down. The kickoff will be Brighton's, and it's rolled by Dale Stephens back inside his own half, and then they pump it long and up and towards Glenn Murray. And what a season he's having. What a 2018 Glenn Murray is having. If you look at the goal scoring records in the Premier League in 2018, Salah, Kane, Vardy, Aguero, Aubameyang, and then Glenn Murray. Those are the top scorers in the English top flight so far this calendar year.
Yeah, and Mark Hughes talking about him this week says he's a throwback. He's getting better with age. I think he knows his game inside out, and he's such an important player for Brighton. Will get them up the pitch, lots of deft touches, holds the ball in, such a key role.
And almost 35 as he runs across from the centre circle to breathe down the neck of Wesley Hoyt, the Southampton central defender. Possession away to our right hand side with the Australian international goalkeeper Matthew Ryan, and he powers it up over the halfway line. Hoyt jumps with Murray, ball slids off the top of his head. Ryan Bertrand sliding in behind is able to pick up possession, but Brighton get it back very quickly again, and it's rolled out to Gaetang Bong on the left hand side, the Cameroon left back, who tries to give it up to Solly March, and then tackles come flying in. March doesn't control it, and the ball goes out for a throw into Southampton. So the teams, this is Southampton. McCarthy, the goalkeeper, Alex McCarthy. Back for Cedric, Vestergaard, Hoyt and Bertrand. In midfield, Elianusi, the Norwegian, Lamina, Højbjerg and Redmond, with Ings and Long up front. Shane Long, whose goal scoring stats have fallen off a cliff over the last couple of years, and Danny Ings, who's hoping to keep up his promising start since joining Southampton from Liverpool. Have you seen the Juliet Ferrington interview where Danny Ings speaks about the bet he has with Mo Salah? Have you heard about this?
No, go on.
So when, obviously teammates at Liverpool, when Danny Ings left, he got a message from Mo Salah, and he says, right, let's have a bet, you and me, who's going to score the most goals. Now, what would you do if Mo Salah, of all people, suggested a bet as to who's going to score the most goals this season?
Well, there's a likelihood you'd avoid it.
Indeed. So, he didn't do that, and I'm going to tell you the story after this free kick, which Brighton takes short to the left-hand side to Bong. Now, Southampton have dropped deep here. Bong tries to play it in. It's blocked away, and that's a bit of a waste of a set piece. What Danny Ings did was quite clever. He said, right, I'll take the bet. He said, if you win, I'm going to buy you a coffee. If I win, you've got to get me half of Egypt. which I thought was probably about right, actually, in terms of likelihoods of things happening. Southampton 0, Brighton 0 here on 5 Live, in possession of the back for the visitors with Lewis Dunk. Lewis Dunk, who scored a lot of own goals last season. He put it into his own net 4 times. No Premier League player has ever scored more than 4 own goals in a single season.
Can we look at the positives and talk about the positives of
I love
that
what you,
pairing?
Chris. Go on, give us the positives.
That pairing last season, I think they were a big part of Brighton doing as well as they did, and I thought they overachieved last season. This season, it's can they go that one step further?
That pairing being Dunk and Duffy. And here is Solly March on the left-hand side. Ball into the middle of the midfield towards Proper, and then it's flicked into the box. Southampton have plenty of cover back there. Vestergaard maybe could have left it for the goalkeeper McCarthy, but he didn't want to take any chances. And the big 6'6" Dane clears it out for a Brighton throw.
Yeah, just interesting, the Brighton setup in the middle of the park. It looks like Proper playing by Pascal Gross, who played just ahead of Basuma in the midfield, and Stevens.
That's not a bad ball. Danny Ings looking for Shane Long, who peels away onto the left wing. Is just outside the penalty area, looks up for some support. Pierre Højbjerg has arrived. It's a few groans to the Southampton crowd, because that was the start of a counter-attack, start a bit momentum, but suddenly they play it back to the halfway line. They allow Brighton to regroup, and that's been a bit of Southampton's problem. They'll come down the right-hand side now. Elianusi, that's a good first touch to take it away from Bong, to roll it back to Cedric again, the Portuguese right back. Infield to the Dane, Højbjerg. Good pressure being applied by Yves Bissouma, the Malian midfielder. I saw him play in Brighton's defeat at Anfield against Liverpool recently. He made a mistake to give away possession for one of the goals, but I thought he did well in the game. He's a player to look out for. Bissouma.
Yeah. And they made a lot of signings, didn't they?
Bertrand's made a run down the left wing here. Stretching was Duffy. Oh, what an own goal that would have been. He propels it high into the air like a Gary Owen kick in rugby, but Matt Ryan disappoints anyone looking for a dramatic own goal by stepping back and catching it in the 6-yard box.
Well, it was a good run. I think it was Redmond just peeling in behind the back line. It was a timely touch. Ryan did well to collect it.
Forward by Duffy, cut out by Hoyt. Southampton have possession on the left-hand side. One of my favourite tweets last season, and I can't remember it, I wish I could remember who said it, but they said that your average Brighton lineup, it sounds like you're listing out the 7 dwarfs. You've got Duncan, Gross and Bong and Duffy, and they all sound like they could be miniature characters in a Disney movie. This is possession with Dale Stevens to the left-hand side to Solly March. Not a great ball back in towards Bissouma, so Southampton should win it back again. Lemina, Bissouma though battling well for him. Lemina's battling well. That's a proper challenge between the two of them, and then eventually Bong slides it on Lemina, and that will be a free kick to Southampton. You were talking in the mini Monday Night Club about Wilfred Zaha. Does he get special treatment? I mean, there's tackles flying in there. That's no different to what Zaha receives.
And I tell you, I think Bong is slightly fortunate there. He comes off his feet. It's a strong challenge on Lemina. Referee, I think he can get away with that one.
Lemina slides in again in the centre circle. Southampton work it out towards the left-hand side, and Nathan Redmond, and another crunching tackle comes in. This time I think from Dale Stevens, is it? He's just nursing himself.
Feisty start to the South Coast, to the South Coast derby.
Is that what we're calling it now? The South Coast Derby. that local derby between Brighton and Southampton, who are
ridiculous.
2 hours journey away from each other.
68 miles. How can that be a derby?
Here is Vestergaard inside the centre circle. To be fair, until you mentioned it there, I haven't heard anyone else call it a derby. As Ings gives it on to the left-hand side to Nathan Redmond. Now this is a chance. Tries to take on the last defender, who's Montoya. Manages to deliver the cross. Header by Cedric, was probably going wide, but Matthew Ryan had to be sure, and he dives across to his left-hand side and makes the save. That's been the best bit of attacking play of the game. Chris Sutton.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Nathan Redmond. I think last season he was a player who lost confidence, but good early signs for Southampton. Has popped out to the left-hand side on the front foot, driving up Montoya, stands up, a really good ball to the back post, just no real power on the header.
Martin Montoya, a very well regarded defender, long time at Barcelona. He was always sort of Dani Alves's deputy at right back. He still played quite a lot of games, over the 3 years. 67 appearances for the Barcelona first team, and that was some team. That was the Champions League winning team. And here he is now, still just 27 years of age and playing right back for Brighton and Hove Albion here in the Premier League, where finally the smoke of that Las Vegas boxing match style pre-match light show has just faded away. Inky dark skies overhead. It's been a beautiful evening here on this part of the south coast. Wonderful sunset dipping down behind St Mary's. 0-0 the scoreline here as Vestergaard, under considerable pressure from Glenn Murray, rolls the ball back to the goalkeeper Alex McCarthy. Southampton will build through the midfield, and Lamina with a dreadful pass puts it straight out of play, and a throw in for Brighton on the far side.
Yeah, I think Mark Hughes, first game of the season at St Mary's, went with a back three, and it's been a little bit just finding things out, the best system. So we kept the same team last couple of weeks, trying to get a bit of continuity and rhythm.
Bong on the left hand side, comes over the halfway line for Brighton, gets 10 yards inside Southampton territory, and then Stevens under pressure from Danny Ings. And Danny Ings has started this game like a man who's been injured for most of the last 3 years. He's like a coiled spring. He wants to make amends, he wants to get involved. He's running, he's passing, he's tackling, he's all over the pitch, and in a very positive way for Southampton as Lamina regains possession, gives it back to Wesley Hoyt, and now Southampton come over the halfway line again. The ball played to Redmond, who had Bertrand outside him. He tried a first time flick. It was intercepted by Anthony Knockaert, who was the championship player of the season the year that Brighton came up, but he always strikes me as one of those sort of limbo players where he's almost too good for the championship and yet not quite good enough to stand out in the Premier League.
Blimey, I think once again, you don't sound like you're a fan of Brighton, Connor. I like him. I think he's the ball carrier for Brighton. That threat likes to come in off that right hand side. He's a talented player, and he's key for them really in terms of getting up the pitch. He's the outlet off that right hand side.
But why? Okay, so 3 goals last season in the Premiership for Knockaert. He was one of the top scorers in the Championship. Now, I can understand if he scored maybe half as many. How has he ended up scoring like 1/6 or 1/5 of as many goals?
Well, the point is it's a step up, and he's such a good outlet, such a good creator. It's not just about goals from that side. You know, he's Brighton's go-to man, and outstanding. He was in the Championship. This is a different level. He's such a key player.
And one stat I do like about Anthony Knockaert is that whenever he has scored, Brighton are unbeaten. So whenever he scores, they don't lose since he's been at the club. Possession with Martin Montoya, Spanish right back, doesn't want to play it forward, gives it back into the midfield. And now over here to the near touchline towards Lewis Dunk, who came through the Brighton Youth Academy. Right-footed ball, looking for a run at Glenn Murray. Not a great delivery, goes straight out of play. 0-0.
And listen, with Glenn Murray, you have to be exact. He doesn't want to be chasing in channels. He's not the quickest. They need to drop cute little balls in to his chest and his thigh where he can get hold of the ball.
Did you, I mean, I know you sort of changed position a bit towards the end of your career, but when you were playing up front at Glenn Murray's age, did you have to change a lot of how you played the game?
Well, I was normally on the bench at his age, to be honest, Connor. No, but you know, he's not one. He's never been blessed with great pace, but he knows his game inside out, and he makes good little runs, peels in on the centre half, and they have to drop balls in. That's what he's looking for. He's not going to outrun that Southampton back line.
Scored against Manchester United last month, scored 2 against Fulham. Here comes Southampton. Højbjerg was the furthest forward there. It was looped into the penalty area, and Shane Duffy got his head on it to just cushion it back to the goalkeeper, Matthew Ryan. Matt Ryan, who I saw play in Russia at the World Cup for Australia. He paid for 27 of his family members to fly to Russia to watch him play in the World Cup. They did finish bottom of their group. Didn't win any games, but great experience had by all, I'm sure.
Were they first class tickets?
I didn't inquire. I would imagine if there's 27 of them, I would say cattle class. Well, what do you think? what would you do, Chris? 27 first class seats from Australia.
Well, for any of my family, it'd be cattle class.
Here is Lewis Dunk coming over the halfway line for Brighton. They changed green strip tonight, tried to roll it forward towards Davy Proper, Dutch midfielder, but that's cut out And it goes out for a throw-in. We've yet to have a proper shot on target in the game so far. Cedric is a header, but I'm convinced that was going wide when it was saved by Matthew Ryan. Bong has got a throw-in midway inside the Southampton half. Murray's made a run in the penalty area, gives it short to Proper, back to Bong again, now infield to Dale Stephens. Danny Ings continues this high gegenpress running. He's just sprinting after anyone who's got the ball. Brighton have got to work it over to the far side, and Montoya back into the middle again, and to Shane Duffy.
You just feel, Conor, don't you, that Ings he's going to be the catalyst for this Southampton team.
Bong, that's a good ball ahead of Solly March down the left hand side. Chance to look up, chance to take an extra touch, rolls it to the edge of the penalty area. Here is Knockaert, and he shoots, and it's blocked away by Højbjerg, and that's going to go out for a Brighton throw. That's much better for the visitors.
Really good ball from Bong to release March. The left hand byline pulls it back, good spot. Knockaert, that's a crucial block from Højbjerg.
After West Ham won at Everton yesterday, it means that Brighton are the only team in the Premier League who've yet to take a point or score a goal away from home this season. That was lively though from Knockaert, getting into a shooting position and finding his attempt blocked away. Dunk being put under pressure by Shane Long, and he's quite relieved that the ball rolls out of play for a Brighton throw. If he'd take a touch there and keep it in, Long was breathing right down his neck, but it was well shepherded out by the Brighton central defender. Tomorrow, the return to the Champions League on 5 Live, the new format as well. Early kick-off into Milan against Tottenham. 5:55 tea time start tomorrow at John Murray inside the San Siro, alongside Chris Waddle. We'll also bring you Liverpool against Paris Saint-Germain tomorrow. That starts at 8 o'clock. So the whole new look to Champions League midweeks, where there's the early kick-off and the late kick-off. More Champions League football, Chris, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I'll take all of the Champions League football you've got.
Oh, absolutely. I'm really looking forward to it. I think we'll see an English side winning it.
Really?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Liverpool side, English side from Liverpool getting to the final last season. Here is Bertrand up from left back for Southampton, gets it back again from Højbjerg. Is 15 yards inside the Brighton half. He's got support from Redmond. That was a great run made by Bertrand ahead of him. Redmond held on to possession. Now he picks out the pass to Lemina. Just outside the D is Cedric. And then outnumbered Danny Ings when he did get possession, swarmed by Brighton defenders. It's not a great clearance, and it's picked up by Højbjerg midway inside the Brighton half and tackled by Dale Stephens, and I think he was caught in the face there, and that's a free kick to Southampton midway inside the Brighton half.
Blimey, that was a poor challenge from Stephens. Absolutely crashes into Højbjerg. Agricultural challenge that was. Surprised Anthony Taylor right on the spot. How is that not?
Yeah.
A card, but it's 40, just over 40 yards out, too far to shoot.
Big story in rugby union and all the sports pages today about high tackles. In rugby, I think that would have been a high tackle by Dale Stephens, let alone in football. We've played a quarter of an hour. Free kick to Southampton, still 0-0 here on the South Coast, as Chris is calling it, the South Coast Derby. And a busy penalty area is awaiting this free kick, which is played in high, way too high. That's terrible. That is absolutely shockingly bad by Momo Elianusi. That's what you get for £16 million, by the way.
If you saw that in the Sunday League in a pub game, you'd get in your car and you'd drive home. That was abysmal. Mark Hughes' face in the technical area. He's bewildered. Mark
Hughes, who has gone 18 months and over 50 Premier League games as a manager since he's won consecutive matches in the top flight. But they did win last time out. Chance for Southampton to lay a few ghosts to rest if they can get the win tonight. They've never won a Premier League home match on a Monday night at St Mary's. And battling for the ball here is Solly March, and he's done well for Brighton on the left hand side. Elifanusi trying to get back and trying to make amends for that terrible free kick. Does make a well-timed tackle, and the ball goes out for a throw into Brighton, which Bong takes his time overtaking. Southampton 0, Brighton of Albion 0. Both managers standing on the edge of the technical area, both in smart dark suits. Throwing is towards the head of Glenn Murray, cushions it down for Solly March, out to Bong on the left hand side. Here is Basuma, swings in a right foot across, and again it's overcooked over everyone and out for a goal kick.
Poor quality has been the story in the final third at both ends in this game. The right foot, 30-40 yards out by the byline. Murray makes a run in the centre of the goal. The ball goes way over his head, but just touching on Mark Hughes. I thought last season he did a really good job. This club were in enormous trouble. I thought they were going to go down. They should have sacked the manager earlier, and he didn't get a lot of time. He just did enough, got them galvanised, a bit of confidence, got over the line. This season, fairer to judge Mark Hughes.
Well, as a club and as a business, I mean, if you look over the slightly longer term, over the last sort of 7-8 years, they seem to consistently bring in good coaches. They seem to consistently produce quality players, sell those players on, bring in either kids or guys from Eastern Europe, like Tadic, someone like that is a good example, who most people wouldn't have been aware of and was a very good player. And they were getting it right for so long, and then it just last season, the players they brought in didn't click the way the others had. I mean, you can't have the magic beans all the time, I guess.
And I thought it was cruel on Poole to lose his job. Pellegrino just didn't sparkle, did he? And it was very flat under him. And I think they went for him and wanted him to do well, but they held on too long. He should have gone earlier, which put them in real danger of relegation. And then I think question marks. Mark Hughes, the job he did at Stoke. But he's an experienced manager. He got a reaction. He had to get a reaction.
I like that. Cruel on Poole. I'd like to hear John Murray say that. Cruel on Poole. As in joke there. As Eli Finucci has possession midway inside the Southampton half. Pressure from Bissouma to force him back, and then infield to Pierre Højbjerg. And Southampton who get the ball, who look all right, here we go, now we're going to launch a counter-attack, and then it slows down and it takes ages to do so. This is a bit better though. Redmond, little slaloming run, beats two defenders into the penalty area. Ings shoots, deflected away and out for a corner. Danny Ings with a shot, don't know if it was going on target, but deflected out for the corner.
He's been the one though, hasn't he? Nathan Redmond, half-turn, driving at the heart of the Brighton defence, just pokes the ball into Ings, and it's a snapshot. I think it was going wide. Came off a Brighton defender.
We've played 20 minutes, it's warming up nicely. Quarter to Southampton on the right hand side, 0-0 here on 5 Live for the BBC. Elyounoussi, who took a dreadful free kick a few minutes ago. Let's see what he could do with his delivery for the corner. Raises his left hand as a signal, floats it in. That's much better towards the back post. Comes down to the middle. Must be saved up the line. Must be over the top. 3 chances in the end. Wesley Hoyt puts it over the top. How have Southampton not scored there? Danny Ings could have scored. Wesley Hoyt could have scored. Somehow it's still 0-0.
Oh, well, it's brilliantly worked. Criticism of Elyounoussi with the free kick earlier, but it's a ball which goes round the back and it's headed across, and it's like pinball in there, and then it drops to Hurt. Was he 3-4 yards out? He's stretching, but he's got to hit the target. And it sails over the Brighton line. It's a superb block on the line initially. I think it's Knockhart.
It is Knockhart, yeah.
Knockhart knocked it out.
He did. When I said, is he giving it off? You're right. That's the sort of stuff. It's not all about goals, isn't it, from Anthony Knockhart? He has saved on the goal line there to deny Danny Ings. It was Højbjerg who headed it back into the middle. 3 chances he won for Southampton, but still 0-0. Chris Hughton's almost on the pitch. He's left the technical area. He's almost on the playing surface as he tries to get some instruction across to his players. Throw in for Brighton, left full back position, right in front of Hughton actually in that technical area. Bong throw, someone's pulled a shirt.
Well,
and that's a free kick to Southampton.
Cedric is saying to Glenn Murray, you use your elbow there. Do you know what? I think it could have gone the other way. Murray's a bigger guy just leaning back in, trying to get the ball on his chest. Chris Hughton, he's not a happy man in that technical area.
These sides meeting for the second time in less than 3 weeks.
Wow.
It was a Charlie Austin. What?
They were the reserves. We can't. Are you counting that?
I'm counting that as a fixture between these two clubs, yeah, because it was. Charlie Austin's goal saw Southampton Football Club beat Brighton and Hove Albion Football Club in a genuine competitive game. As here is Elyounoussi, great first touch, tries to shoot with his second, blocked away off Duffy. He scooped the ball over a lunging tackle with that first touch to create the opportunity. Here he is again, Elyounoussi, backheel to himself, can't though, turn around Davy Proper, and Proper clears away off Elyounoussi and out for a throw. Well, we had a little giggle at the terrible free kick he made. He's been brilliant since, Elyounoussi.
Yeah, it's a really cute first touch, just lifted it over. I think it was Stevens lunging, right leg, shot blocked from, I think it's Duffy on the edge of the box.
0-0 midway through the first half. We're watching action replays on our monitor, slow motion replays of that little flick by Elyounoussi. That was wonderful. There's Brighton a bit pinned back inside their own half at the moment. Solly March is going to lose the ball here, and he's fortunate that Yves Bissouma's behind him to win it back again for Brighton, but they give it away again inside their own half. Højbjerg strong in the challenge. Danny Ings gets it. Referee had brought his whistle to his mouth. He was about to blow for a foul on Højbjerg, but he's played on because Southampton still have the ball. Redmond pushes it in front of Ings, chases on with Duffy. Duffy had a head start to it and shepherds it out for a goal kick. And it has warmed up nicely now. It's taken about 20 minutes to do so, but we're seeing some good attacking football from Southampton especially.
Yeah, absolutely. And a Southampton with the momentum, building up ahead of steam. Brighton just can't get out. It was a dreadful pass from Stevens into Proper, fired the ball into him in the centre of the park, saying get hold of that. It was really overhit, and Southampton pressing there.
Gareth Southgate, England manager, is here watching, sitting alongside a bona fide Southampton legend, Matthew Le Tissier. All this talk of England haven't produced talented creative players since Gascoigne. I mean, how we'd love a Matthew Le Tissier to pick these days. If Southampton could generate a new one of him, that would do Gareth Southgate probably just what he needs. This is Lewis Dunk for Brighton, exchanging passes near the halfway line with Yves Bissouma. Bissouma with the bright orange boots and gives it out to Montoya on the right hand side. It's Duffy actually. Montoya's going to run up the field. And this now is Anthony Knockaert being put under pressure by Nathan Redmond, and eventually just stands stood with the ball, his hands in the air, and said, come on Rev, he's got to be fouling me. And Anthony Taylor agreed. 0-0.
Yeah, I think Mark Hughes be telling his players, Knockaert, do not let him get his head up on the front foot and drive at you. That's when he's at his best. So they're paying special attention to him.
25 minutes played, no goal. Southampton have had the best chances. Proper back to Knockaert, well closed down again by Højbjerg. Brighton regained possession, but they're back on the halfway line, and in fact Bissouma's going to play it all the way back to the goalkeeper. How are Brighton going to break out of their own half here and get the ball down the other end a bit more?
It's been really disappointing. Well, they have been in an attacking sense. There's a little slip there.
Here come Brighton. That's an unnecessarily fancy back heel by Proper. That doesn't find anyone, just gives away possession. And Mario Lemina has it, former Juventus and Marseille player. Plays a little 1-2 with Vestergaard.
Yeah, and I tell you what, Brighton, the opening day of the season at Watford, it was such a poor, flat performance, and they've started similar to that this evening.
I'm going to bow to your superior knowledge. I've just looked up the teams when they met in the League Cup 3 weeks ago, and completely different starting 11. So yeah, you're right, they haven't met already this season. Here's a ball put in by Bertrand, up for the header was Elyounoussi, and he jumped well and he connected all right, but he couldn't get it on target. Flashing header wide, warm applause around St Mary's. They like the way their team are playing right now.
Well, do you know what? The crowd are applauding. He's got to score. He's got to score. It's really good play. Danger man Redmond out on the left hand side, cuts in on his right foot, and he stands the ball up and bong, stands still. Elyounoussi gets across him. He's 6-7 yards out, free header, level with the far post. He's got to go back across the keeper. That is a huge opportunity wasted for Southampton.
Southampton really should be ahead here on the weight and quality of chances so far. At the moment, it feels like only a matter of time until the home side will take the lead. Brighton need to sort themselves out. Redmond rolls it in front of Bertrand down the left-hand side, and his attempted cross is blocked away by Duffy. But Brighton are pinned back. It's out for a throw, and Southampton remain on the attack.
Yeah, and the issue for Southampton last season, I think their conversion rate was the worst in the Premier League. Just, that El Yunusi chance. They're actually playing well, Southampton. You've got to take them at this level.
Højbjerg plays it forward, out comes Matt Ryan, and with both fists the goalkeeper punches it away, and that's a proper goalkeeping clearance. He punches it out for a throw-in on the far side, which is taken quickly by Bertrand to Redmond. They try to play a 1-2, and then Ings stretches but misses the ball on the edge of the penalty area, and Brighton still making an awful lot of hard work at clearing the ball away. Let's see what Proper does here. He won't even get over the halfway line. Lamina slides in like N'Golo Kante to put it out.
Southampton's threat really has come in the main down their left-hand side. Two good players there. I'm a big fan of Bertrand as well. You think that England left-back position up for grabs.
All the vogue these days for playing midfielders at left-back. You think that in the long term England need to get a proper left-back, an established one who owns that position?
Well, when you look down the right-hand side, Trippier and Walker, Alexander-Arnold, real competition, top players down that side. I think the left-hand side, Rose didn't have a great season last season. And then you've got Bertrand, Luke Shaw in the mix, Ben Chilwell at Leicester, who's had a good start to the season.
Here is the right back for Brighton Hove Albion, Martin Montoya. Fourth appearance for him in the Premier League for Brighton. He's given the ball away, and that is a foul, surely, is it? No, play on, says the referee. Redmond fell on the ground. I think it was a foul, but the referee just said, well, look, come on, get up, there's no one around you. He did, and he played on. Do you know what, I actually like that from Anthony Taylor. Look, they didn't lose possession there, although that is a couple of times how that's happened in the game, where Taylor's just said play on during an obvious foul, but at least it keeps the game moving. This is Højbjerg, 15 yards inside the Brighton half. Tries to turn around Stevens, gives it out to the left-hand side. This is Redmond out there. Bertrand had gone on the overlap ahead of him. Redmond gives it back into the midfield, and Southampton back to the halfway line, where it's touched by Hoyt to Vestergaard. Build-up play still a bit slow from Southampton. Oh, that's a terrible ball. Knockaert makes the interception of Højbjerg, and Brighton don't hold on to it for very long. Right,
Knockaert wants a free kick. He's saying handball.
He's not going to get it. Knockaert gets the ball at his feet, and Brighton look to play their way out of the back, but they are properly pinned back.
Well, they can't get out, and that's credit to Southampton pressing the ball in, and then a long punt down the field from Ryan. They're dealing with it well. Southampton. Murray really hasn't been in the game, and do you know what? I don't think it's his fault. I think the service up to him has been awful.
Yeah. Brighton haven't won any of their last 15 away games in the Premier League, stretching back to last season, and they've not created anything for Murray so far. They've found it difficult just to get up to the halfway line. Half an hour played, Southampton 0, Brighton 0.
Who are the biggest spenders on the south coast?
Who are the biggest spenders? Bournemouth?
No.
Brighton?
Yes, they were, yeah.
Brighton bought a lot of players. I know that. 18 players or something they signed in the summer. Well,
the 11th biggest spenders, Southampton 12th, and Bournemouth 13th.
Right, well,
I know you love your stats.
I love when you do your homework, Chris. Loving that. Here's Højbjerg, 10 yards outside the penalty area, and Southampton look in control of the game at the moment, but no goals. Here is El Yunusi under pressure from Basuma, 10 yards inside the Southampton half, right full-back position. He's got Cedric behind him. Cedric under pressure from March. Brighton are trying to do to Southampton what Southampton are doing to them. They're trying to give a press, and on this occasion it works. Brighton win back possession. Dale Stevens in the centre circle. Options.
Too many touches. Just pop the ball off, and then he gives it away.
Dearie me. Yeah, you saw that one coming, Chris. He just touch. Couldn't make up his mind what he wanted to do, and he's given the ball away, and then he comes in and he commits a foul and trying to win it back again. He's fouled Shane Long. Brighton look bereft of ideas here so far. Free kick to Southampton.
They've been truly Awful, Brighton, and Shane Long is in a bit of trouble there. On the floor, holds the ball in. There's a bit of an inquest in the Brighton midfield. Shake it ahead from Stevens. I have to say, I'm not sure about the kit as well.
The Brighton
associate
kit.
green with Brighton.
Well, and my main issue with it is I don't see what the problem would be for the blue. Brighton's blue kit would not clash with Southampton's red kit.
And that's the whole point, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were like critiquing the fashion of it. You know, that you don't like the look of it. You just don't like that they're not wearing their own.
I'm not one to criticise people's fashion.
Right, okay. I'll remember that. Here is Elyounoussi, tries to shoot just outside the tee. No time for any backswing at all there. He just prodded it forward, too far out for that kind of technique. And it harmlessly drifts wide of the post away to our right-hand side, which Matt Ryan is defending. And that's a goal kick to Brighton. I'm just looking behind the goal, actually. Virtually all. I can only spot a handful of Brighton fans who are wearing the green strip. They all thought they were wearing blue and white. Yeah. That's what always makes me laugh. You know, the assumption is that they go for these sort of different colours to sell them to supporters, that they'll want to wear them, and then the supporters all wear the home kit anyway. Throw it to Brighton, midway inside the Southampton half of the left-hand side. Bong prepares to take it. Towards Murray, crosses into the middle, and that's where he should be. Wow. He's crossed it a half-decent cross, but there's nobody, absolutely nobody anywhere near him.
Nobody, not a soul, making a run into the box. It's a poor pass from Lemina there. Centre of the box, does well to win it back though.
Wins it back. I think that's been a pattern of this first half. If Southampton players make a mistake, they work very hard to make amends for it. Elyounoussi tries to chip into the penalty area. Headed down by Dunk. Højbjerg! Oh, wow! Drills it low and into the bottom corner. That will be a goal of the month contender. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, who scored against Crystal Palace on his last game, has just scored 2 out of 2. That was a beauty. Southampton deservedly lead. Southampton 1, Brighton 0.
Yep, you bang on. They do deservedly lead. What a strike this is from Højbjerg. Given away, centre of the park from Brighton again. Lemina wins the ball back. It's popped into Højbjerg. He must be, well, the ball's headed clear actually. He must be 35 yards out. And he powers the shot, right foot, cuts across it into the far corner. Ryan doesn't get near it. That is an absolute belter from Højbjerg.
Smashing goal from a player not renowned for scoring. He had never scored in the Premier League until his last game. He couldn't have hit that any better. That was a beautiful shot.
Yeah, he's cut across the ball. It starts outside the far post, and there's all sorts of swaz on it. And it just creeps in. He's hit it with so much force, so much power. But you know what? Good for Southampton. They've deserved this. And Brighton, they need to pull the fingers out because they have been so bad in this first 35 minutes.
Yeah, we're not going to beat that definition. Lots of swaz on it from Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. That was a wonderful goal. I mean, just to paint the picture for the listeners, it is similar in range and in bend to that goal of the World Cup scored by Pavard, the Frenchman. However, it's not in the air. It was fizzed along the ground, but right into the corner. Couldn't have been tucked in better. Here comes Southampton again. They've been the better team. Chances arriving was Bertrand on the left-hand side up from left back. Played in by Elyounoussi and cleared away.
Did really well, knockout, tracking Bertrand all the way. But down that Southampton left-hand side, I've got 2 real athletes, 2 powerhouses, running machines.
Brighton, who finished 15th place in the Premier League last season, they were 2 places and 4 points ahead of Southampton. But on this showing, this could be a difficult season for Chris Hughton. His team are short of ideas. They're making elementary mistakes. There is a free kick for an offside flag raised against Nathan Redmond on the far side, and that's going to be a free kick to Brighton. But they've had no flow about them at all.
Last season, they were a Brighton rock, weren't they? But far from it this season. They look pretty powder puff going forward. Just watching this goal again, it's stunning. It really is. He has a little look, and to hit that with so much accuracy. Mark Hughes on his feet in the technical area. Mark Bowen applauding that, and so they should.
2 goals in 2 games for the Dane, who until those 2 games had never scored in the Premier League. Never scored a league goal for his previous club, Schalke, either. He's suddenly found his shooting boots at just at the right time for Mark Hughes.
If you're going to score, make it a good one.
Yeah, absolutely. Once a Bayern Munich player. He was actually at one stage Bayern's youngest ever player to play in the Bundesliga when he made his debut as a 17-year-old. He's just been fouled inside the centre circle, and that will be a free kick to Southampton. So 1-0 they lead here on 5 Live. Just a reminder, Champions League back underway tomorrow. We're all over it on 5 Live. Inter Milan against Tottenham, tea time kickoff, 5:55 p.m, and then Liverpool against Paris Saint-Germain at 8. So back-to-back Champions League games tomorrow for you on 5 Live Sport. As here comes Bertrand on the left-hand side, gets to the edge of the Brighton penalty area. Shane Long working hard, nearly gets a sniff of goal, but cleared away by Dale Stevens up towards the halfway line. Glenn Murray loses his balance, loses the ball. Brighton get it back again with Bissouma. Now that's wonderful from Bissouma. He's left Lamine in his wing. Oh, this is such a good run, all the way from his own half to the edge of the penalty area, and stopped by Wesley Hoyt's excellently timed tackle. Well, that is wonderful from Yves Bissouma, and Brighton fans will want to see more than that. He's picked up a head injury, and play is brought to a halt.
Well, Brighton have offered absolutely nothing up until then, and it was really good. A driving run. It just opened up from Bissouma, but he breezed past Lamina, who's a good athlete himself, and just kept going and going. And he took a slightly heavy touch, and it just allowed Hurt to get a challenge in. There's a timely challenge. He just catches Bissouma with his left boot in the follow-through, and Hurt stayed down as well. It's the first time Brighton have really offered anything, and this isn't a good sign. Both sets of medical teams out on the pitch.
Well, we've got a break in play here. I've been tweeted by Oliver Dado, who says, with regard to our discussion as to why Brighton don't wear their blue strip tonight, he says, for the colourblind, 2 stripy kits are impossible to tell apart. 1 out of 12 males and 1 out of 200 females, 1 out of 12 males who have the impairment will be glad that Brighton aren't in their stripes tonight. So that's the reason. It's not just the colour. If the design is too similar, that helps people with vision. You learned something new. I did not know that, and neither did you, Chris, because if you did, you would have mentioned it when we had that discussion.
Well, that's very interesting.
Thank you to Oliver for tweeting us that. So yeah, you do learn something new every day, and now that that's explained in that way, it makes perfect sense. 1 in every 12 males in the UK have colour blindness. Wow. So we've had that delay in play. Bissouma, who'd made a storming run, has received his treatment. He's going to be okay to come back on and carry on. And we've got 4 minutes of normal time to go until the break. It's the first half that Southampton deserved to be ahead in. They've had all the ball, they've had all the territory, they've created the better chances, and they have scored a worldie, absolutely brilliant goal from Pierre-Emile Højbjerg.
Yeah. Mark Hughes, we sense there is a bit more freedom about our play at home. It was an issue. Southampton at St Mary's were quite contrary last season. They need to get the form right this season at home to get themselves up this league.
Wesley Hoyt on the halfway line for Southampton, left to right as we look down, red and white stripes, Brighton in the change strip of green. Here is the goal scorer Højbjerg, who's been urged to shoot from near the halfway line. Such was the quality of his effort a few moments ago. Vestergaard swings a big long crossfield ball that was very ambitious, and Knockaert makes an interception. But this is Brighton's trouble, they'll win a ball but they don't retain it, and Southampton regain the possession so easily.
They can't get up the pitch, no. And Murray has barely had a kick, so you have to go to your wide man, get Knockaert on the ball, but all him and March are doing in those wide areas for Brighton are defending.
Here comes Cedric, gets to within 10 yards of the Brighton penalty area, rolls it up to Shane Long. Good challenge comes in from Duffy. Two Republic of Ireland teammates combining there. Bong's header's poor, gives it straight to Lamina. And here is Elianusi, who runs into congestion in the middle of the midfield and gets the ball taken away from him by Solly March. But same old story for Brighton, they don't hold on to it. Elianusi to Cedric, crosses along the edge of the penalty area, and it's headed away by Montoya. Comes back into the box. Duffy's got the wherewithal to take a touch, turn around, roll it back to the goalkeeper. It's the same thing happening all the time. They win the ball, they give it to a teammate, and that teammate gives it away.
And the Southampton centre halves, Vestergaard and Hurt, they can go really tight on Glenn Murray. One going in front of him, and it's just wave after wave of attack.
Southampton 1, Brighton 0. Højbjerg's goal. Here is Mario Lamina. Number 18 on his back, sends a crossfield ball into space for the Dutch defender Wesley Hoyt, and then back into the middle to Højbjerg. And they're just bossing midfield, Southampton, almost at a leisurely pace, passing the ball around, and Brighton not getting a kick. The one kick they do get is into the back of the calf of Nathan Redmond, and that's a free kick to Southampton.
A silly challenge from Montoya. Redmond's given him a good going over in this first half, and an opportunity just before half-time to load one into the box. Vestergaard going forward.
Yeah, he's quite a target, isn't he? Big 6'6" tall Danish defender.
Must be the tallest in the Premier League.
You think?
Well, go on then.
There's got to be someone. There's got to be another 6'6". Someone's got to be 6'7", don't they? Let's see. Someone will know. Get in contact on social media at 5LiveSport. Who's the tallest player in the Premier League?
I'm going that Vestergaard is the tallest. The Great Dane.
Right, well, you're saying that with such assuredness, and you've already shown tonight you've done your homework, so I'm going to bow to your knowledge again.
Well,
let us know at 5LiveSport who is the current tallest player in the Premier League. As Højbjerg tries a long-range pass, he's looking for Danny Ings, who gives the thumbs up for the effort, but it goes out for a goal kick. 30 seconds left of normal time in the first half.
Well, I suppose if you're a Brighton fan, the good thing is they cannot and will not, dare I say, will not be any worse in this second half, because it has been that bad. They haven't laid a glove on Southampton, haven't had a shot on target. McCarthy has been redundant, and I think Mark Hughes, do you know what, I think he'll be disappointed. Southampton aren't further in front in this half. Elianusi, that big chance, headed opportunity.
It's 1 minute being added on for stoppages. We've only that one delay when Basuma needed treatment. So we're into that 1 minute now. We'll be with Mark Chapman during half-time. Back in the studio. We've had one excellent goal in the game. Southampton playing as well as I've seen them play at home in a long time. And Brighton have been disappointing so far, but still just a 1-goal deficit, so they've got a chance if they can get better service to Glenn Murray, who's been on such a fine run of form lately. But can they get the best out of him? Here is Bissouma, who is a live wire, goes around Danny Ings, shoots from miles out and shoots miles wide, and the wolf whistles are out for the Southampton fans for that effort.
Yeah, and I think that's one effort on goal. Bissouma must have been 40 yards out, under pressure from the hard-working Ings, and I'd estimate that went not 15, 20 yards wide of McCarthy's right-hand post. Not good enough from Brighton.
So 1-0 to Southampton. Many of the supporters making their way down the steps towards the concourses. There is the whistle for half-time. Brilliant goal. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg nestled one into the bottom corner. Southampton arguably should have scored before then in a flurry of chances. Knockaert made one very important clearance off the goal line. Brighton with a lot to do, Chris Sutton, to get back into this one, albeit only at 1-0 down.
Yep, Southampton on the south coast. They are coasting. Stunning goal from Højbjerg. The best team are in front, should be further in front. They've dominated the first half. I think Chris Hughton will have words at half-time. He'll want a response. He'll demand a response, because Brighton have been pathetic.
There you go. So 1-0 to Southampton at half-time. Mark. Thank you very much, Mark. No changes in personnel over half-time. We're about to get restarted. Southampton in their red and white stripes will play from right to left as we look down in this second half. Brighton in their change strip, the green. And what a goal, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. That's all anyone could talk about over half-time. Really, really special strike, well worth looking out for later on if you get the chance, and I'm sure you will be force-fed that one. It's going to be played on loop for a long time, particularly around St Mary's, where they're hoping this could be a much overdue home win. Can they hold out? Surely Brighton have got to step it up a little bit in this second period. Referee Anthony Taylor has got the signal from the referee, from the television producer down on the sideline, and he blows the whistle to get us back underway, and Lamina hoists it forward towards the edge of the Brighton penalty area. Shane Duffy is there to head away. So Southampton, Alex McCarthy, the goalkeeper, back for Cedric, Vestergaard, Hoyt and Bertrand. They've not been overtaxed in defence. Elianusi on the right wing, Redmond on the left wing, Lamina and Højbjerg in the middle, and then up front Danny Ings and Shane Long. The Brighton team, Matthew Ryan is the goalkeeper, Montoya, Duffy, Dunk and Bong are the back four as they come on the attack on the left. March with a cross. It wasn't a bad delivery, but it's been a story of the game for Brighton that there was nobody in there to take advantage of it, and it harmlessly goes out for a goal kick. So in midfield, Proper, Bissouma, Stevens, Knockaert wide right, March wide left, Glenn Murray, who hasn't been given a sniff, is the striker up front. Chris Sutton.
Yeah, and an angry Glenn Murray is screaming at Solly March, pull the ball back. I tell you what, at least Brighton have shown a bit of intent. I suspect they got an absolute rocket at half-time from Chris Hughton. They can't be as bad as the first half. And I suppose the bright point for Brighton is the fact they're only one down. They're still in this.
Chris Hughton, who's unbeaten in the Premier League as a manager against Mark Hughes. This is the 6th time they've come up against each other. Hughes hasn't beaten Hughton so far. This is Bissouma near the centre circle, playing it out towards March again with those bright orange boots. Good ball from Bissouma. March this time rolls it back to Bong. That's not a good cross, miscued it. And a similar pattern of doing the simple things and not doing them very well for Brighton here at the start of the second.
Bong got that all wrong.
You're in rhyming mode tonight, aren't you? I've noticed that. There was Contrary St Mary's, and there was Cruel for Poole, and Bong got it wrong. All right, we'll keep tabs on those for the rest of the evening. This is Lamina, 15 yards inside his own half.
I'm glad you're listening.
I don't usually. Here is Redmond, back to Hoyt, and then Bertrand on the left-hand side. Southampton passing much crisper tonight.
Yeah, and look, I think Mark Hughes will go in and just emphasise we need more of the same. We need the same intensity when we lose the ball. You know, he'll feel Southampton, they've still got work to do. Good first half, but let's get the job done. Let's see it through.
2.5 minutes played in the second half. This is 5 Live from the BBC. The Premier League, Southampton leading Brighton by a goal to nil. Mark Hughes is slouched back at his fancy leather armchair at the side of the pitch. The very sort of looks like a Formula 1 racing car sort of a seat that he's got for himself down there. And he's sitting back and he looks content, and why not, because his team are in charge of this one. Just one more goal, I think Southampton will feel that they've got this fully in their grasp. 1-0 is always a bit of a perilous scoreline.
What Brighton need to do in this second half, Glenn Murray extremely isolated as the centre forward. Again, too stretched for them. Need to get him in the game, get balls into him, get players in and around him, closer to him.
Some breaking news, by the way, in our tallest player in the Premier League discussion, and you will have an issue with this, I know, but Dan Byrne, who Brighton signed this summer, is 6'7" tall. He's an outfield player. However, and this is the bit you like, he's been sent on loan to Wigan.
Well, and there you go. So Fraser Forster doesn't count, and Dan
Fraser Forster, of course, counts.
No, he doesn't.
He does.
Because how many minutes has he played in the Premier League this season?
You don't have to play a minute in the first 5 games of the season to be a Premier League player.
You do, and Ali Bruce Ball would say at this point, he would say, this is my game.
Well, I will not come between you and Alistair Bruce Ball, that's for sure. Listeners aren't missing anything on the pitch, by the way. Southampton have it midway inside their own half. So at the start of every season, the Premier League, you've got to register your Premier League squad, and Fraser Forster is in Southampton's Premier League squad. So debate all you like, he's a Premier League player. Throw in right down below us, in between the two technical areas. Throw in for Southampton, taken by Ryan Bertrand, and Lamina plays it back inside his own penalty area to Alex McCarthy, who's not had a save to make in the game so far.
No, and Southampton, in terms of goalkeepers, good competition. Spoke about Fraser Forster. Angus Gunn, I think he came to the club. Big money, 12-13 million expected to play.
I hope he's not tall. Here's Proper. That's a good ball in front of Sully. March down the left-hand side. Murray's making his way into the middle. Proper's up there as well. March sends it in. Too high for Murray, behind Proper. But not a bad ball. Here's Montoya. Back in for the right-hand side. Here's a chance. Proper heads wide. Well, it's better from Brighton. You'd say that. Just needing that extra bit of quality in the end.
Well, it had to get better, and it was sloppy. I think Lamina giving the ball away and Brighton breaking out. And what was good from Brighton's point of view, they loaded the box, got bodies in there. The first cross went through the box, and as it's popped back, I don't think it's an easy header from Proper. He has to generate his own power. It's clipped in. He's 12 yards out, going away from goal. He just can't get it on target.
Looking for his first goal for Brighton. He scored 10 times in his final season at PSV, but it wasn't a clear-cut opportunity. You wouldn't call it that. Here is Knockaert. Now this could be a chance. Attacking the edge of the penalty area. March to his left. Knockaert shoots. Saved by the goalkeeper. March with the follow-up and completely skids it off the outside of his shin guard. Big chance for Brighton. Make no mistake, we've got much more of a game about this now. Brighton have been released from their shackles and they're trying their best to get back into it.
Absolutely game on. I thought Knockaert took the wrong option. It was a good shot in the end. Powerful shot, but March, had he just slid the ball to him on the left-hand side of the box, he would have been one-on-one.
Yeah, it feels, hindsight beat everything, but it felt at the time that could have been the ball to play to March. Here is March again. Now Murray in the penalty area. He's not seen much in the box. He goes around Vestergaard, but sweeping back in behind. Another defender puts it out. It was Cedric for a corner to Brighton, but much more competitive game in this second half. Southampton had it all to themselves in the opening 45 minutes. Now we've got a game in our hands.
Absolutely, and fair play to Brighton and Chris Hughton. I'm sure he would have been angry at half-time, but they've, in these first 5 or 6 minutes in the second half, we've seen far more intent in an attacking sense, and Brighton look a threat.
Yeah, and Southampton fans are just sitting a little bit less comfortably now watching this game. They haven't won back-to-back home games in the Premier League since April 2017. It's a long way back. They find it difficult to put consistent runs together at home, and even though this game has started so well for them, the tide is in danger of turning. Here is Bong. 5 yards inside the Southampton half, gives it to Montoya, pumps it to the penalty area, got a fall from Murray here, the back post, keeps it played, flag is up. He wasn't able to do anything anyway with it, but it wouldn't have counted, he was offside.
Yeah, it was a very late flag. Do you know what? I'm not so sure he is. I think there was a Southampton defender in the middle. That would have been a very, very tight one. It's a long diagonal ball. Oh, he probably just is.
Just, yeah. Good
Not
decision.
a lot in that.
Glenn Murray, who scored home and away against Southampton last season, but he's not been given anything like a chance in this match so far. Possession with Brighton. Dale Stevens to the right back. Montoya, bright white boots, infield to Knockaert. And then Stevens gives it back to Knockaert again, and he's on the right wing, and he shuffles it infield, and that's well read by Højbjerg, well intercepted. And then strong defending at the back, and this will be cleared away by Bertrand's left-hand side for Southampton. Ings stretches for it. Danny Ings quieter this second half than he was in the first half.
They're all over them, Brighton.
It's role reversal, isn't it? Yeah. Let's see if Brighton can score as Southampton did when they had their purple patch.
And you hear the groans.
Yeah.
One big punt clearance it was from Hurt.
Determined play by Ings. Sends the ball over the top. What a pass! Long forces it beyond the goalkeeper. That's wasteful. He's sprinting onto it, Shane Long. He wants to go around the goalkeeper, but he hits it way too hard. So it goes past the keeper, but way past the keeper, and out for a goal kick. It was like he had built up such a head of steam, he couldn't slow himself down, Shane Long. But that was a brilliant pass from Danny Ings.
Oh, it was a wonderful pass. Centre forward link-up play. Long has to score. It's a dreadful first touch. His run is exceptional in between the two Brighton centre halves, and he has time to take the touch and go round the goalkeeper. I don't know what he's thinking. I just think his head is probably frazzled. He doesn't have that confidence.
Yeah, he certainly doesn't. 2 seasons ago, Shane Long scored 17 goals for club and country. Last season, just 2. He's not been in form. This is Bong on the left. Booze for Bong as it's played to Proper now. 10 yards outside the penalty area. Most central location with the yellow boots. Picks out Gaiting Bong again. Now Knockaert. Runs into the penalty area too far in front of himself. I think he was trying to play a pass to Solly March there, and when it didn't work out, he tried to run onto it himself. In any respect, Southampton get it away, but just like Brighton did in the first half, they're just clearing their lines. They're not retaining possession at all. Here comes Solly March for Brighton. Attacking down the left wing, Cedric trying to show him onto the outside. Murray's in the middle. March tries to come inside of Cedric, and that's going to be a yellow card. Referee reaches for his notebook. It was taken down by Cedric, and he goes to the book.
Yeah, different team, second half Brighton, but just going back to that Shane Long chance. Brighton in the ascendancy. What an opportunity that was, albeit on the break from Shane Long. That could be a crucial moment in this game, but good from Solly March.
Yeah, his shirt was pulled back cynically by Cedric, who knew he'd been turned inside out there, and it's testament to the pressure that Brighton are now applying. So Brighton, who were hardly part of this game in the first half, now have shown up. 10 minutes played in the second period. Still Southampton lead by 1-0. Højbjerg strike, excellent. Let's see what they could do here. Bissouma is standing over it, so too March. It's Bissouma who plays it in swinging and headed away by Danny Ings, who was standing on the front corner of the 6-yard box.
It's a bit of a waste, wasn't it? Just fired straight at Ings in that near post space area. All the centre halves, Duffy and Dunk, had gone forward.
This is March on the left hand side, plays the ball off Cedric, knowing it would go out for a throw in to Brighton on the left hand side.
Different atmosphere, isn't it, in the stadium in this second half? You just sense the anxiety on the Southampton fans.
Brighton get it back again. More groans from the Sage supporters. Now those groans turn to boos. And on that occasion they thought they might have had a free kick. Bertrand wins it back, but all he could do is hoist it towards the edge of the Brighton penalty area, and Matt Ryan comes out, and the goalkeeper gives a cushioned header to Dale Stevens, and Brighton playing with such more confidence now as Murray steps over the ball to allow it pass through to Solly March, and then March, as he tries to get back at Cedric, fouls him, and then ironic cheers for the referee from the Southampton fans, who feel that maybe they deserved one of those decisions to go their way. Southampton 1, Brighton Hove Albion 0 here. Tomorrow night, return to the Champions League. 2 games back-to-back for you. Inter Milan against Spurs at 5-6. Liverpool against Paris Saint-Germain at 8 o'clock. 2 good matches to get the Champions League campaign back underway for yet another season. Duffy clears for Brighton, and he's disgusted with himself. He's hoofed it straight into out for a throw.
That really was awful. A Premier League player under no pressure just punt that straight into touch. It was dreadful, but Brighton in this second half, they're pressing Southampton 20 yards higher up. They're competitive in the middle of the park, and a Southampton who can't get any rhythm to the passing. The first half they were really very, very dominant in the middle of the park.
Stretch back to last season, and Brighton have only had 2 wins in their last 13 Premier League games. The funny thing is, the 2 wins were both against Manchester United. They beat United at the end of last season, and of course they beat them before the international break. But those have been their only 2 wins, stretching back a long time now.
And this is just at the time you start looking at the benches. Who could be a game changer for Brighton? You've got Lacadia, and then the Iranian Jahanbakhsh, Ali Reza Jahanbakhsh, paid big money for him. Maybe a surprise to Brighton fans, he hasn't started more games.
You're a fan of him, Chris, aren't you?
Well, I am. He didn't have the best World Cup, but leading scorer in Holland last season, a creative player. Maybe this is his time.
As Lamina heads the ball back, and out comes the goalkeeper McCarthy. But yeah, no doubt about it, Southampton have had to roll their sleeves up and get a lot more stuck in this second half, and they've not enjoyed the long passages of possession that they had in the first half. Vestergaard, who is not the tallest player in the Premier League, plays the ball back towards Alex McCarthy.
It's all getting a little bit nervy, isn't it?
Southampton pinned right back. Absolute game of two halves here. This is what was happening to Brighton in the first half, and now it's happening to Southampton.
And if you're a Brighton fan, you'll be, seeing the contrast and maybe saying, well, obviously, why on earth did we not start like this? This is much better.
Cleared away by Ryan, the Brighton goalkeeper. Lamina wins the header. Duffy underneath it for Brighton, cushions it down for Montoya, who stretches, keeps it in play but gives it away to Bertrand, who's got Redmond up ahead of him. Southampton in around the back. Here comes the cross. Duffy well positioned, cuts it out of the front post, and Brighton are able to clear it away. That's a great touch from Murray, and it's pounced upon by Proper on the right hand side. That is quality from Glenn Murray, who continues his run. Proper tries to find him, difficult to thread that pass, and it's cut out by Alex McCarthy.
Deft layoff from Murray, peeling in off the centre half. That's the first. Well, we're seeing signs he's getting service. What a threat he is when he gets the service.
Give it away by Lamina to Dale Stevens. A Brighton equaliser seems eminently possible now. I think if they can create a chance for Glenn Murray, this game's going to be 1-1. Can they create that chance? We've reached the hour mark. Bong has it on the far side, 5 yards inside his own half, over the halfway line to Solly March, back into the Brighton end. Dunk gives it to Duffy, switching play from left to right, all the way to the right back to Montoya, closed down by Nathan Redmond. Brighton holding on to possession and just attracting Southampton onto them. This is Yves Bissouma, £15 million signing from Lille in the summer. They avoided relegation last season by just a single point in France. Here is Lamina once again. Goes long, searching, and ultimately failing to pick out Danny Ings. Headed out of play by Bong, and Brighton look controlled at the back. Southampton, that one chance where it was played through by Ings for long, that's really the only time that Southampton have threatened in this second half.
But it was a gilt-edged chance, a big chance, and long. It was such a heavy first touch, went past and out for a goal kick. Anything past the goalkeeper, Ryan had sold himself. Shane Long would have had an empty net. Yeah,
and I think at 2-0 would have been saying that was that. As it is, it's 1-0 to Southampton. Here's Bertrand down the left-hand side. His cross took up deflection. Dunk slid in and manages to clear it away. Hoyt out into space for Cedric on the far side. This is Vestergaard, bang on the halfway line. Plays it long and searching and headed back infield by Bertrand. Duffy jumps, gets a forehead to it. Good work by Bertrand to win it off again though as it comes down, and then Bertrand gives it away. I got to say that's really good from Duffy. He'd lost the ball, he works hard to regain it, and then Stevens with an accurate pass through the midfield to Bissouma, and he's tackled by Hoiberg. It's a good game to watch. This is very competitive. This is Hoiberg out into space to Cedric on the right hand side. Now on to Ings, 10 yards outside the penalty. Great turner on the defender, goes down to the box. Penalty! Danny Ings wins the penalty for Southampton. Had a big chance now for the Saints to go 2-0 up.
Well, it's brilliant from Danny Ings. How sharp was he on the turn, 30 yards out, and he just cuts across Bong, and Bong makes contact with him. It's a silly challenge from Bong, clips his right heel. It is a penalty. And Southampton have been under pressure at the start of this second half, but what an opportunity it is, and it looks like Danny Ings to take it.
Danny Ings, 2 goals in his 4 games so far this season. Jurgen Klopp says he was reluctant to let him go. He says if you could bottle this guy's character, you could sell it worldwide. Danny Ings, after all his injury problems, back playing and playing regularly in the Premier League. He has won a penalty. He's got a chance to put Southampton back in control of a game that appeared to be slipping away from them. He's up against Matthew Ryan, the Australian. He just adjusts his socks. Referee has been very pedantic, making sure that everyone's outside the box. Ings is visibly frustrated. He's turned and shrugged both arms in the air. Let's see if it puts him off. Here he comes. Ings scores! Bottom left-hand corner. No doubt about it. And with Gareth Southgate looking on, Danny Ings reminds everyone of the quality he possesses. It's Southampton 2, Brighton 0.
Ings on the up at St Mary's. It's a slow run up, a stuttering run up from Danny Ings. He watches Ryan, sees if he's going to move, and then just whips it across him into Ryan's right hand corner. Confident penalty from a player who I feel is going to be so crucial for Southampton this season.
And it'll be so interesting when they get Charlie Austin back playing with Danny Ings. Those two were prolific earlier in their careers when they played together at Burnley. But Danny Ings, I mean, you would have to have a very cold heart, no matter what team you support, not to be very happy for Danny Ings. What he's gone through, potentially career-threatening succession of injuries, and yet he's had the character to bounce back and scoring again in the Premier League, and that's 3 goals in 5 games now.
Yeah, and spot on about this character. And this is a guy, here the Southampton support singing, he's one of our own, rejected as a 10-year-old by Southampton, come back to his hometown club, and it's great to see. And this is a guy who has suffered serious injury. He's got so much about him, but here in front of Gareth Southgate, he just may be in with a shout now with his England career.
Danny Ings, who only ever scored 3 Premier League goals for Liverpool, he's now scored 3 goals in the Premier League already for Southampton since joining them on loan. I remember commentating on a League Cup match one time when he made a comeback. He'd been out for absolute ages. He'd been out for a year or something. He came back and he was injured. He came on as a late sub of the game, and he was injured again in that game, and heart just went out to him. Here's a free kick played in. Good delivery. Oh, it's going to be an equaliser. It's headed down into the net, and it's Duffy. Shane Duffy gets his 2nd of the season, and it's a goal back for Brighton, and this entertaining second half is going to continue to deliver here, because just as Southampton thought they were stretching away 2-0, it's back to 2-1. Very good free kick, and the header down by Duffy.
Yeah, bang on. How sloppy is that from Southampton, I have to say. It's a brilliant ball in, left-footed from Knockaert. Duffy gets the run. I think he peels off Shane Long. Do you know what? Heads in from 6 yard. Could McCarthy in the Southampton goal come and claim that? Brighton back in this though.
Shane Duffy, who scored against Manchester United last month. That was his first goal in 46 games. It was the first time he'd ever scored at the Amex, and now he has scored tonight to infuse a bit of life back into Brighton, who let's be fair, have been on top in this second half. They've conceded a penalty, they've gone 2-0 down, but they have been on top, and that goal from Duffy means it's 2-1, and this game remains very competitive. Foul and Knockaert, free kick Brighton.
And Mark Hughes, he'll be furious with that. They get themselves 2 up. You think cruise control, yeah, they've weathered a bit of a storm in this second half, but then to concede set piece in that situation, to let Brighton back in this game, he's not going to be a happy man.
Brighton fans singing loud and proud away to our right. The ball played in by Knockaert. Duffy up there, this time Vestergaard. We know how tall he is, Chris. Vestergaard all over Duffy and making sure he wasn't going to get space on that occasion. Throw it to Brighton, left wing as they come forward. They have not been ahead in the game, but they've come back from 2 goals down to make it 2-1 now. And let's see if they have an equaliser in them. What is that? Duffy has played a remarkable back pass from 10 yards inside the Southampton half that caused all sorts of trouble from Matthew Ryan. That's bizarre. Southampton have it. Wesley Hoyt. Ings is down on the halfway line. I think he's okay. This is Redmond on the left. Gives it back to Bertrand. Bertrand back in field to Lamina. Murray scampering little shuttle runs all the way following the ball onto Vestergaard, and now it's further on to Cedric on the right hand side where March comes in to help. Bit of swagger back to Southampton now with that second goal for the penalty spot. They've just rediscovered their mojo a little bit tonight. Oh, that's very good from Nathan Redmond. He's gone through Montoya. He's into the penalty area. Can he shoot? He does. Good defending by Duffy. Redmond regains possession, but he's forced back out of the box, and he's now in a crossing position on the left-hand side. Dunk is out with him. Quick feet from Redmond. Here comes the cross, hanging to the back post. There's nobody there, and that goes out for a goal kick. Lovely, sparkling play though from Nathan Redmond.
Yeah, he's looked good, hasn't he, Redmond? On the left-hand side, chopping in on his right foot, slaps his hands on the floor in frustration.
Reminds me of one of the more unusual scenes of last season. Do you remember when Pep Guardiola gave that little talk to Redmond on the pitch?
Odd, wasn't it?
But you know, you can see the message that he was saying though, because when Redmond does attack like that, he's electric. He's absolutely electric. Brighton are about to make a change, and it'll be your Iranian friend who's coming on.
Yep, and he'll want to make an impact. Game for big money.
He's yet to start a game for Brighton. Al-Razira Yakanbakash, is that the right pronunciation?
Yahanbach, but you can call him whatever you like.
No, go on, give it to me. I know you're the Iranian correspondent.
Ali Yahanbach.
Yahanbach, right, that's the way I'm going to say it. Good. Yahanbach is going to come on in place of Solly March. So, Yahanbach, who they signed for £17 million from Alkmaar. He scored 21 goals last season, top scorer in the Eredivisie, the top league in Holland, and he was the first player from the Asian region in FIFA to be top scorer at a major European league last year. So let's see what he can do in the closing 20 minutes of this game here at St Mary's.
Well, you come for big money. You'd have liked to have played more. He is talented, two-footed, an eye for a pass. What a time to make a name for himself in a Brighton shirt.
Shane Long battling for the ball. It goes out of play for a throw into Southampton on the left. Southampton 2, Brighton 1. Højbjerg and Ings for the penalty spot for Southampton. Shane Duffy with a good header for Brighton. Here is Højbjerg, scorer of the best goal of the night, giving it out to Cedric on the right hand side. Decent movement from Elianusi to come short and collect, and trying to get with him is Basuma, but Elianusi gets it on to Ings of the penalty area. Here's a little back in, Long stretching, goes down again. Bonga defended this time. I don't think it was a penalty. Play on, says the referee. Referee blows the whistle for a handball just as Cedric wanted to shoot. Chris Sutton.
Oh, I tell you what, really sharp from Ings. Won the penalty with a little burst, and again it's good link-up play from Long and Danny Ings. Really good. Well, in fact, it's Long who goes into the box. He does handball it.
It was Danny Ings' back heel, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. Really clever, inventive play from Danny Ings. Yahanbach has gone out to that left-hand side.
I've never played fantasy football before, but Phil Williams forced me into doing it this season. More of that in a moment. Oh, Long slips on the edge of the penalty area. Well, nothing is going right for Shane Long. He's played into that left channel. He slipped just when he was about to break into the box. Here is Ings, goes for the far top corner from a wide angle and distance, and it did bend, but not quickly enough. But warm applause around St Mary's for Ings, but it's just not happening for Shane Long.
No, it's not. But Ings picks the ball up on the left-hand side. Little flick round the Brighton defender. He's on the corner of the 18-yard box and tries to bend it into that far top corner of Brian's goal. He is full of it, Danny Ings, and good to see.
Yeah, he's enjoying himself, thoroughly enjoying himself down there. Glenn Murray, who's not had anything like the impact in the game, the striker for Brighton, plays the ball forward on called Yahanbach, and then it's put out for a throw into Brighton on the right hand side. Montoya comes up from right back to take it. The clock ticks on, 17 minutes to go of normal time. Knockout, Montoya back into Knockout, little party piece, comes off, wins possession. Dale Stevens now will play it over to the far side where Bong is up from left back. Southampton sit deep. Lamina makes a brief interception, can't hold on to it. Shane Long is forward, everyone else is back behind the ball, including Danny Ings for Southampton here, who've been 1-0 up, now 2-1 up. They don't want to let it slip. Here's a 1-2 though on the edge of the penalty area. Basuma stretching, couldn't get a touch on it. Knockout will pick up possession, but he's now weaving away from goal.
Clever little touch. Yahanbach got good awareness.
Here they come again, Brighton. They've been a good team in the second half. That's an important challenge by Lamina on Yahanbach, and that puts it out on the far side for a throw into Brighton.
You just feel this last 16 minutes or so for Southampton, how important it will be to get over the line at home, get the confidence in this stadium.
Yeah, if they win this, Southampton will move up into the top 10. Have possession on the left-hand side. Now, Jahan Batch, first time we've really got to see him with the ball at his feet. Delivers across. He's quite lucky, actually, it got through to Montoya, but it did. Here's Knockaert, curls it in too close to the goalkeeper. Well, it wasn't a shot, it wasn't a cross. That's disappointing from Anthony Knockaert. Easy catch from McCarthy.
Yeah, and it's Knockaert on the right-hand side, chops in on his left foot, and you expect better from Knockaert. Wasn't under any real pressure, and he just feeds the ball in to McCarthy in the Southampton goal.
So Southampton are preparing to make a couple of changes. They're going to bring on a midfielder and a striker. And Brighton are also going to make a change. James Ward-Prowse is going to come on for Southampton, so too Manolo Gabbiadini. And Jurgen Locadia is going to come on, the Dutch striker is going to come on for Brighton. So let's deal with all these changes. First of all, Gabbiadini comes on for Long. Now that's no surprise. Shane Long plugging away, willing runner, nothing happening for him. So Gabbiadini will now partner Ings up front. Shane Long, aware that the lead is narrow, is walking very slowly off the pitch, and I think it's Elyounoussi. Yeah, it is Elyounoussi who's going to come up to allow James Ward-Prowse to come in to the midfield. That's a slightly more defensively minded player to try and shore things up. And the change for the visitors sees Yves Bissouma come off for Locadia to come on. So Murray and Locadia now two up top for Brighton.
Yep, physical presence up top for Brighton. 4-4-2. No, the plan now, they'll be looking to get balls into them. They'll be direct. For Southampton, you just feel Ward-Prowse will stiffen up that midfield.
Jurgen Locadia, who joined last January for Brighton, he's still not started a Premier League game. Chris Hughton hoping to get more out of him. And now from the start of this campaign, as Gabbiadini gets his first touch on the edge of the Brighton penalty area, but can't get it under control for Southampton, who still lead 2-1 here on 5 Live. Tomorrow night, the return of the Champions League. We've got back-to-back games for you. Different kick-off times this year, 5 to 6 and 8 p.m. As Gabbiadini is challenged by Dale Stephens, and the referee goes reaching for his notebook once again. Yellow card for Stephens, free kick for Southampton, and Gabbiadini getting involved properly for the first time.
Yeah, and it's good from Gabbiadini, draws the foul from Stephens down this left-hand side, sucks him in. Stephens shake of the head. It's a silly foul, really. Ward-Prowse over the ball. I've seen his delivery in the past. Really good right foot. Bids this ball in.
James Ward-Prowse making only his second appearance in the Premier League this new season. Here he comes, right-footed, in swinging, headed away at the front post by Proper, and running out Locadia will try and keep it in play and succeeds in doing so. James Ward-Prowse really stands out because he's got black boots. I don't think any other player's got all black boots. As he runs around inside the middle of the midfield, and then the referee blows the whistle. Gabbiadini getting involved in a tussle and committing a foul, and that's a free kick to Brighton and a chance to clear their lines. 12 and a half minutes of normal time to play. Have Brighton got an equaliser in them, do you think, Chris Sutton?
Oh, do you know what? They deserve one. I think second half they've actually been the better team in the second half. They had to respond. They have done. I wouldn't say it's a free scoring Brighton team, but Chris Hughton has gone for it. He has to go for it. Two up top. They need service.
When Cardiff scored away at Chelsea on Saturday, they were the only other team who hadn't scored away from home in the Premier League this season. Then Murray holds it up on the edge of the penalty area. Proper with a neat turn. Then he runs into trouble in the shape of Højbjerg. Bong gets it back for Brighton. Crossing position on the left-hand side. Højbjerg is having a good game. Blocks that cross and puts it out for a Brighton throw.
Had a good game. They had the opportunity to get the ball in. They've got two big guys in there now.
Here is Jahan Batch from the edge of the penalty area. Don't know if that was a shot, but it came back off Knockaert. Montoya plays it in. Not the best delivery. Dealt with away by Hoyt. Here comes Knockout again. Drags it back under his studs. Helps on to Locadia. Leaves it for Montoya. Here's the chance into the penalty area. Jakobash was in there, but he couldn't get a swing at it. And Brighton come again. This is good pressure from Chris Hughton's team. Knockout in the penalty area. Wonderful turn. Turns back at himself. Plays it in. Flicked on by Jakobash at the front post. And that is wide. Much, much better from Brighton, though. They're finishing well.
And how sharp does Knockout look now? Twisting, turning. Left-hand side of the box, spins and fizzes a ball in. And Jahan Bach, his right foot just flicks the ball from 8 yards back to goal. And he's not far away.
That would have been a great goal. I mean, had it gone in, it's only a few inches wide.
He's a talented boy. Jahan Bach just needs to feel his way into English football.
Just over 10 minutes of normal time remaining here at St Mary's. Been a good game this. I've enjoyed this. This is Dunk chesting it down. That's very good from Dunk. Got away from Ings. Plays it forward to Locadia. Steadies himself. Oh, he's sure he's going to shoot. He was giving it the big wind up and then he stood in the ball. He fell over. Fantastic. Here's Proper. Midway inside the Southampton half. Locadia very unfortunate there after picking up a good position. Here is Jakenbach. Rolls it to Knockaert, whose influence is growing. Again, that movement where he drags it under his studs. This time, Bertrand was aware of the trick and managed to tackle him. Jakenbach picks it up on the left-hand side. Bong, chance to cross. Looks up, delivers it in. Knockaert threw his head in it. Couldn't get a touch. And it ends up in the safety of the arms of the goalkeeper. Brighton keep coming. And they've 10 minutes to try and get this equaliser.
It's absolutely all Brighton now. Penning Southampton in, an anxious looking Mark Hughes in his technical area, whipping balls in. The front men of Brighton finally getting service.
So Bong in a chase here with James Ward-Prowse. Bong gets there ahead of him, just outside his own penalty area. A soft touch back to Matthew Ryan, who scuffed clearance. Goes out of play, throw into Southampton, and they've got to try and push up here because they've been absorbing a lot of pressure.
Yeah, and I think they're going to make another substitution. Southampton, Stephen Davis, good footballer. Now come on, I think he'll want to see his side, Mark Hughes. Just try and control possession, keep the ball. And Davis very good at that.
Stephen Davis about to come on for his first appearance in the Premier League this season. McCarthy clears the Southampton goalkeeper down the middle of the pitch, flicked on by Ryan Bertrand, looking for Danny Ings, who's been a willing runner all night, but he's definitely running out of a little bit of gas now. As Lamina gets it back in the middle of the midfield, on to James Ward-Prowse, and the Southampton fans are urging their team forward here. Lamina gets involved again. Alongside him in midfield, Højbjerg. Back to Hoyt. That's not a good ball, but he'll get away with it. Vestergaard shuttles across. Murray in pursuit, but Vestergaard clears it down the right wing. James Ward-Prowse, chance here now, edge of the penalty area, right hand side. Southampton have got 3 up in around the penalty area. Here comes the cross from Cedric, headed away by Duffy, the Brighton goal scorer tonight. Collected by Højbjerg on the edge of the penalty area. Duffy gets another touch. Brighton still haven't got it away. They should do now, however, as Knockaert. Oh, he's given it away to Lamina. Good challenge by Stevens. Brighton have not given up here by any regard. Here he goes again. Stevens, heavy touch, invites the challenge from Hoyt, and Hoyt blasts it away. But the competitive nature of this game is actually increased.
It was a shame from Stevens. Heavy touch there, an overload, and numbers forward.
Chris Hughton grimaces down to the touchline. His team are playing well, but it's going to be a familiar story of coming away with nothing to show for it unless they could get the late goal here. Bong down the left-hand side, wins a corner off James Ward-Prowse. Corner to Brighton, and they might as well throw the kitchen sink at this. All the big men coming up from the back.
Well, they scored from a set piece, didn't they? And it's all about the delivery. Southampton need to be switched on.
I mentioned Danny Ings looked a little bit like he'd run out of steam. He has run himself into the ground tonight. He will be the player to make way to allow Stephen Davis to come in. So 4-5-1 for Southampton. Manolo Gagliardini will be the target man up front. Stephen Davis slots into the midfield as Southampton try to keep Brighton out.
Yeah, he's been the difference, hasn't he? Danny Ings back home for Southampton. He'll hopefully have the winning goal for Mark Hughes' team.
Right. Brighton haven't had many attacking set pieces in the game. Let's see what they can do with this. Knockout taking a relatively long run for a corner kick. Here it comes. Left-footed, hoisted high. Dunk and Duffy almost got in each other's way there, and the ball leaves the penalty area. Collected by Montoya on the right-hand side for Brighton. He's got Proper ahead of him. Back heel, trying to bring Montoya to the penalty area. Very strong from James Ward-Prowse. That's excellent play from him. He held his ground and he managed to get the ball away. Just anchored himself into the turf. Gabbiadini goes chasing after it, and it's put out by Bong, who swept all the way over from left back to a right back position for Brighton.
It was good from James Ward-Prowse initially, down the left-hand side. And they were just patient with the build-up play, and Bong did well. Gabbiadini, had he taken the touch there, would have been in on goal.
5.5 minutes to go since coming up to the top flight. Brighton have only played in 21 away Premier League fixtures. They've only won 2 of them so far. They beat West Ham United last season, and they also beat Swansea. But those have been their only away wins. And despite playing well in this second half tonight, they are on course for another away defeat here on the south coast tonight. Glenn Murray wins a free kick.
Well, he's having words with the assistant, but it's a silly challenge. And Hoyt again, I think, no need. And now you see Brighton, they're just loading the box, centre halves forward, looking for a knockdown.
So Knockout just turns in as a word with Chris Hughton, and they're just deciding what they're going to do here. It was an angle similar enough to this they scored, actually. Knockout plays it deep towards the edge of the penalty area on the far side. Duffy was his target, but he wins a header on the edge of the penalty area and puts it straight out for a goal kick. And Glenn Murray is so eager to get on with it that he plays ball boy. There's a youngster with an orange bib sitting on one of those little plastic seats who didn't flinch when the ball was right beside him, because he's obviously employed by Southampton and he wants them to win this game. And Murray went and ran right by him, probably twice as old as him, and gathered the ball and placed it down for the goal kick.
I think McCarthy got a yellow card there for time wasting. Mark Hughes, my old teammate Mark Bowen, absolutely furious.
Lamina for Southampton in the centre circle to Cedric on the right hand side. One more goal from Southampton will seal this. But at 2-1, there's still a way back in for Brighton, for whom Dunk wins the ball on the edge of his own penalty area, powers up to the halfway line. Murray lays it out to the left wing. Bong has come over the halfway line there, plays it forward, cut out over there by Stephen Davis, the substitute. Southampton are just digging their heels in. Clock ticks on, 3.5 minutes of normal time to go. Out comes Ryan. Oh, it's a terrible goal. Now, goalkeeper's out. And can Gabbiadini score? He shoots from the halfway line and it's wide. Late drama. He had to go for that, but he couldn't get it on target.
I'm with you. Why not go first time? Go for broke. He wanted it on his left foot. It was Ryan. A poor clearance from the left-hand touchline. Probably hit the ball along the floor, 40 yards to Gabbiadini. It's in the Brighton half, but just gamble, go right-footed. And an open goal, but in the end he shifted it to his left, trying to fire it in, and high and wide.
Yeah, nothing like the excitement in a football game when a goalkeeper gets stranded way outside his penalty area. The classic of the genre you were at in the summer, of course, with Manuel Neuer, weren't you, Chris? That was the...
Well,
it won't get better than that. Here is Ryan Bertrand. Clears away left-footed and well blocked down by Knockout. Southampton, are they going to hold on? 2.5 minutes now. Classic sportsmanship here. The ball is thrown by Knockout to Bertrand, who pretends that he fumbled. Oh, I was going to catch it. Oh, it just slipped through my fingers. How clumsy of me, the professional athlete who can't catch a ball that's been gently tossed to him.
Well, he's tired.
Indeed, yes. Throw in eventually by Ryan Bertrand. They are trying every trick in the book here, Southampton. I think that's testament to how well Brighton have played in the second half, the pressure they've put on them. Have Southampton done enough? Højbjerg's world-class goal in the first half. Danny Ings with a penalty that he won in the second half. Duffy got one back for Brighton to keep it interesting. But is it going to be enough? Just over 1 minute of normal time to go. Duffy pumps it, Hail Mary style. Long, towards the edge of the penalty. Flicked on by Murray. Lecania controls, Knockout, shoots, deflected it out for a corner. That was dangerous. Brighton are still in this.
Yeah, but it's Murray again. Deft flick with the head. Knockout in off the right-hand side. Sharp touch, tries to get the shot off and it's blocked.
Knockaert places it for the corner kick, right in front to the Brighton fans. This will be quite a finish if they could score here. Here it comes, left-footed, delivered into the penalty, headed down, Lacadia saved by McCarthy. Brilliant save, out for a corner. That was like something David De Gea would do. Brilliant.
Well, Lacadia, 4 yards out, heads it into the floor. McCarthy, no right to make that save. Down to his right-hand side. It's brilliant, left-handed, just tips it over the bar.
Another corner, Knockaert again to take. Here it comes, delivered in, headed down, bong swings, penalty! What about this? Late drama at St Mary's. There are 35 seconds of normal time to go, and Brighton have been rewarded for their second half pressure with a penalty and the chance to claim a 2-2 draw and take home a point.
Oh, that's a big, huge call from Anthony Taylor, and he's suggesting there's a shove. It's a left-footed corner and away swinger. Is it Ward-Prowse? I think it's Ward-Prowse who shoves.
Yeah.
Is it Duffy?
Yeah, pushing the back. I mean, it's one of those you see worse every week, don't you?
Oh,
penalty is scored anyway by Glenn Murray. Right-footed, straight down the middle. McCarthy dives to his left. Murray scores and celebrates with gusto. Brighton fans come tumbling down the steps to celebrate. Oh, they might well have got out of jail here. 30 seconds of normal time to go when the penalty was awarded, and Glenn Murray does it again. His 4th goal of the season. What a campaign he's having. And I think, Chris, Brighton, on the balance, they probably deserve it.
Well, second half, Brighton have been fantastic. Murray, the man, as cool as you like. A lot of pressure. Last minute penalty. Goes down the middle. McCarthy gambles to his left. Calm from Glenn Murray. Composure. Fed off scraps tonight, but when you want a man to take a big chance, Glenn Murray, he stepped up, and Mark Hughes is slumped in the dugout. He probably can't believe this, but you're right, Brighton, second half, they've given it a real go.
And Chris, it's 2 games in a row that they've come from 2-0 down. This is the same in their previous game against Fulham. Come from 2-0 down to make it 2-2. Southampton will be fuming. To be 2-0 up in the second half, you've got to go on and win the game surely at home. James Ward-Prowse, not over yet of course. Cedric crosses from the right hand side. Lamina was attacking it. Good defensive header away. It was Montoya, I think, who got it out of the box. And now, could there be? I'll tell you what, this is a great game. Højbjerg wins it back. Lacadia's heavy touch. Otherwise, Brighton could have been away themselves. Lacadia comes in and commits a foul. Free kick within shooting distance for Southampton. Yellow card for Lacadia.
Well, it's a ridiculous challenge from Lacadia. Højbjerg wins the ball, is driving towards goal, 25 yards out now. James Ward-Prowse. There's a little bit of coming together. Tensions high. James Ward-Prowse gave away the penalty, a daft challenge. I think Mark Hughes may say the penalty was soft, but can he make amends?
James Ward-Prowse, whose push gave away the penalty down the other end. There'll be debate about that, I'm sure. Glenn Murray stood up, his 4th goal in 5 games in the Premier League this season. Knockaert's been booked now as well. And Southampton are going to take every care and consideration. In all the drama, I've no idea what's been... Oh, it's 4 minutes. 4 minutes have been added on. So Bertrand left foot, and no funny business. He's the only man standing over it. No decoy runners or anything like that. Couple of Southampton players go into the wall.
I think this is the perfect range, isn't it? Far enough
choose,
out to get it up and over.
If you could choose anywhere in the pitch for a free kick, this is the spot he would take. Not any closer, not any further. Ryan Bertrand, left-footed, over the wall, saved by Ryan. Diving to his right-hand side, and good goalkeeping to push it away from the danger as well. Montoya in a tangle now with Lamina down by the corner flag. Manages to slice it away. We've played 3 minutes of the 4 being added on for stoppages. It's been a really good game. I have to say, we've had 4 goals in total, and at the moment it looks like a share of the spoils at 2-2.
Yeah, I tell you, a chance for Bertrand. It's a save you expect Ryan to make. Goes his side, left-footed. He gets a good right hand to it, away from goal.
Right, Brighton pump it long. Glenn Murray, flag is raised anyway. Well, Yahanbach touched it down for Murray, who might have been able to run into the penalty area, but the flag went up. Now, was it offside or was it because Jahanbakhsh committed a foul? Yeah, I think so.
And it's one of those where it's a bouncing ball. He's trying to get his body in, and Murray would have been in.
It's really good, this. It's like both teams are not settling for 2-2. They both think, look, we've been scoring each of us, let's go get a winner. Anthony Taylor glances at his watch. We've almost played the 4 minutes. Long into the penalty. Big Westerveld is up there, but beaten in the air by Dunk. And now Knockaert gets the chance to counter-attack. How's he still got energy in his legs? Runs along the choke of the touchline. Well, that's really good from Knockaert. Controls in his chest. That's brilliant. And he wins an attacking throw-in off Hood. He's brought play from the edge of his own penalty area to almost the level of the other end. And that is the final whistle. Well, you never quite know in the Premier League, do you? Southampton Brighton, on paper, that was not the most appealing of prospects. However, it's turned into a really good game. From 2-0 up, Southampton conspire to end up only drawing this game, and what do you know, Glenn Murray scores again. Chris Sutton.
Yeah, absolutely. Murray mint in the end, wasn't it? But a game of two halves, wasn't it? Southampton so dominant in the first half. Brilliant strike from Højbjerg to put them in front, and then I thought Brighton couldn't do any worse in the second half, but they came out of the traps on the front foot, put Southampton under major pressure. Southampton got the second goal with Ings. Penalty, it was a penalty, but Brighton, crucial, they scored quickly after that, and it was a Duffy header. Mark Hughes will be furious to concede from a set piece, and then in the last seconds, contentious penalty or not, Murray stepped up as cool as you like, and Brighton take a share of the spoils. Really good entertainment. Before the game, we were sort of laughing at the Las Vegas style smoke show and fire show they put on. The game lived up to it. Southampton 2, Brighton 2. Great show.